Hi, welcome to Erik Harrison, a podcast, episode 1. Erik Harrison, a podcast is the worst title for a podcast I could come up with, but I literally came up with it 10 seconds ago when I decided to record this podcast. Let's play the theme song. What's the theme song to Erik Harrison, a podcast? It is the mariachi solo from the Johnny Cash cover of Ring of Fire, as played by me right now. Bum ba dum ba dum ba da da, bum ba dum ba dum ba da da, and again bum ba dum ba dum ba da. Bum ba dum ba da da. I fell into a burning ring. I don't know what the right situation is. I said that was a cover. It's true, actually. He did not write that song, nor did he originally record it. His wife did. He heard her perform the song for the first time, and in an amazing demonstration of his gratitude and his generosity, really, as a performer and as a human being, he told his wife that he'd let her record it first, even though she wrote it. And the deal was that if it was a hit, he wouldn't record it, but if it wasn't, he'd record his own version in 6 months, and then he added the mariachi trumpets. I don't know what that means in this moment. As you know, dear listeners of Erik Harrison, the podcast, this is the podcast that I decided to do in my bedroom, recorded spontaneously on my computer, in a sheer fit of madness, with no structure or intention or even verifying that it's possible to export this recording from the voice memo app on my computer, or if the microphone is working. So it's very possible that when all this is over, all I will have is a wall of silence. But thank you for tuning in to the first and possibly last episode of the show. Let's get to our guest. Our guest tonight is me, because once again, I decided to do this 30 seconds ago. Well, actually, according to the recorder, the timing on the recording device, 2.5 minutes ago. So already knocking out of the park. Today is Thursday, 5:38 p.m. It is the day after Christmas, 2019. So let's do some comedy. Let's do some topical comedy about Christmas. Gifts this year included a picture of a pair of shoes. No actual pair of shoes, but a picture of a pair of shoes. No exaggeration. That's from the girlfriend's mother. Thank you, Kim. And also, my father sent me a gift, which was a thing I already owned. And not as in he sent me a thing that I had in my house already. And no, I've got two of the same thing. No, he sent me an object that I own in the mail and sent it back to me. It is a copy of The Complete Works, which, if you're a nerd, you already know who wrote The Complete Works, despite the fact that several authors in history have obviously had complete works. It is The Complete Works of Shakespeare, which my father gave me when I was 17. It has an inscription on the front. It says, "To my beloved son, Erik Stephen, on his 17th birthday." And then there's exactly the quote from As You Like It, you would expect. "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits, and their..." You know how that one goes, because I'm sure you've all seen As You Like It. And then beneath that it says, "Play on, my beloved one. Love, Dad, 1/1899, which of course was the date of my 17th birthday. And Dad, I just want to let you know, if you're listening to this, and if this is 1999, Tom Harrison, and you're sending this message to the past, I want to let you know that you have every reason to be proud, because your son did not become a Shakespearean actor, but in fact is a 37, nearly 38-year-old man sitting in his pajamas at 5:40 in the evening recording a podcast, which is maybe the only thing of lower social status than a Shakespearean actor in the 21st century. Let's go to our second segment of the day, which of course is where I, what do I do for this second segment? Oh, the second segment is obvious. The second segment is where I read choice bon mot from my Facebook memories. Hold on one second. While I try to, I don't know, does it stop recording if I tab away? I don't think it does. Let me see. I literally know nothing about how computers work. That's actually my day job, for those of you who don't know, is I do computers, but apparently I'm so desperate to be an entertainer that I decided I needed to record a podcast, which is this podcast, Erik Harrison, a podcast, available now on in a store near you. Merchandising is available. T-shirts. If you want a t-shirt, here's what you do. If you want a t-shirt, you email me, because you know who I am, because no one is going to listen to this. Really, no one is going to listen to this, but no one other than friends who want to know where the gag goes. So you already know my email address. If you don't figure it out, send an email to me and ask me for a t-shirt, and I will take one of the t-shirts. Hold on, let's take my computer over to the dresser. Let's see what I've got in here. I have got a couple of t-shirts that I usually sleep in, almost all of which came from not even my work, but somebody else's work. There's a hashtag play ball with play ball with Doc 79 t-shirt. I don't know what that is. A Riverfront t-shirt. This is a Splunk t-shirt, which I got at work. If you want an Erik Harrison branded t-shirt, call in. I will take one of these t-shirts, which I have received from a tech conference or whatever, and that currently have coffee stains on them, that I usually sleep in, that is just loaded with my sleep odor, and I will write Erik Harrison a podcast on them and hand them to you the next time I see you, because again, no one other than people who know where I am will listen to this podcast. So yes, merch is available. We're very excited about that. And next up, a word from our sponsors. I sponsor this fucking coffee cup right here. Today's episode brought to you by coffee, drunk at nearly 6 p.m., which is not advisable, except I had a migraine today. Let's just get into me. Since it's my show, I had a migraine today. I've been getting them more often. They stopped for a long time. But over the last 6-8 months, I've gotten maybe one a month, which is a huge increase of the 2 or 3 a year I used to get. And so I don't go to work. And I drink a lot of coffee. Coffee is a sort of over-the-counter migraine treatment, because caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. I believe it's a vasoconstrictor. And migraines are thought to be caused by vasodilation, which gets caught in a biofeedback loop, which I'm sure you can turn into this podcast for details on how migraines work. Anyway, this episode brought to you by a Tilting at Windmills Don Quixote coffee cup that is sitting right beside my bed where I am right now. What else can we do? Oh yeah, we were gonna do Facebook memories, weren't we? Did we not do that? I don't remember. Let me facebook.com. Let's read some hilarious messages from Facebook, because I'm not young anymore, so I don't really do the Twitters very much, but there was a time when I was really throwing out great bon mots on Facebook, and I hate that this material just kind of goes off into the ether and can't ever be reused. Once you burn it on Facebook, then you can't use those one-liners in real life. But here we have an opportunity to really deploy this stuff. Let's look through the hilarity that is the Erik Harrison Facebook experience. 1 year ago, I was tagged in a picture of a red box. Very amusing. 2 years ago, I apparently publicly posted, "If anyone knows Delmas Hare's cell number, could someone tell him his eldest grandson is in his house?" I used my public-facing Facebook to try to get people in my hometown to find my grandfather, because I was in his house. Also my grandmother's house, their house, and I couldn't find them. I know, fascinating, hilarity, really good stuff. 3 years ago, I told a story about tearing the crotch out of a pair of pants during a performance. I think that story tells itself. I've really just given you the punchline, so we'll skip that one. 3 years ago also, I apparently made my profile picture what's his name from Rugrats, Pickles. I'm gonna have to Google right now what the kid's name was on Rugrats kid's name. And if you're playing along, if you're playing the home game, you're yelling Tommy, my dad's name. How did I forget that? Tommy. I have a picture. Again, we're probably Facebook friends. Tommy Pickles. A picture of Tommy Pickles, except someone has drawn abs and pecs and major biceps on him. He's just a ripped Tommy Pickles. I have no idea why that was my profile picture 3 years ago. 6 years ago, I just said Main Street Pub at 9 p.m., apparently, because that's where I was going to meet people. I know this is really just a thrilling insight into the mind of a major comedic talent like myself, sort of an owner of a multimedia empire, podcast. One podcast, the start of a multimedia empire, really the beginning. Apparently 7 years ago, let's skip all these. This is really comedic poison. This is not going any of the direction that I want to. There's several hilarious pictures, which I will not describe to you because this is an audio medium. Oh, here it is. The Capper Bon Mot on this whole experience. 7 years ago, Erik Harrison, December 26th, 2012, at 1:38 p.m., saw a restaurant with a health inspector grade of, quote, needs improvement, end quote. And let me just, if you'll hold on 1 second, dear listener, what I'm going to do is I realize that I can just sort of play audio from the internet that's appropriate these moments, and hopefully it'll show up in the recording. So let me just go ahead and play what I think. Yeah, I thought that was appropriate. So, gosh, how long have we been doing this? This has been like an hour now. 12 minutes. 12 and a half minutes. How long are podcasts? I don't know. I really only listen to records anymore. This is what guests are for. This is why you need a second person to bounce stuff off. You know what we could do? We could do is, I have my phone here. I have no idea how it would record, but we just position the computer sort of in my lap in this weird way. Again, I have no idea how the audio sounds. And let's just pick like a person who's texted me recently. Let's try calling them and let's see what happens. We probably don't have the rights to that either. Let's see what happens if I call my friend Leanne. Again, I know. Let's just take a moment of silence, really, to sort of revel in possibilities here. To really treasure our moment together while we wait for Leanne to pick up. Hey, Leanne?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hey, sorry, what's up?
It's all right. Where are you right now?
I am in Wheaton.
You're in Wheaton? What are you doing in Wheaton?
I'm driving home.
You're driving home? Is it safe to talk right now?
I cannot hear you.
Is it safe to talk right now? Is it actually safe if I'm...
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. So, Leanne, I'm recording a podcast right now as we speak. And you're my guest.
Okay.
I don't even know if, you're audible. You might not be audible. This may be unusable as content. But I just started to run out of material, and I decided I needed a guest. So here you are on the Erik Harrison podcast experience. So how have you been? How was your Christmas?
Christmas was good, pretty uneventful.
Okay, I'm not interested in uneventful. I'm trying to find some juice. Do you have anything you're promoting right now? What are you working on? You have an anecdote?
Well, right now I am gearing up to produce an act in the Coil Project spring show called Five Play.
Ooh, the Coil Project. Tell me about the Coil Project.
Well, the Coil Project is a DC-based theater company that you used artistic director of.
Ah, fascinating. So really a bunch of great minds back there at the Coil Project.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'll be honest. I want to hear about you, but like not right now because this is about entertainment. So if there's a way to really jazz this thing up, and again, I'm not sure this audio is usable. So really, what I need you to do is to say things I can say funny things in response to, so that I know that audio can be heard. So can you just set me up for a punchline?
Set you up. I'm really bad at setting people up for punchlines.
Well, Leanne, I called you, so I need you to deliver.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead. I'm going to read you some Facebook memories, and you tell me if you laugh. Hold on. Here's the best Facebook memory I have, and you tell me how this hits you. 7 years ago, Erik Harrison said, "Saw a restaurant with a health inspector grade of needs improvement." I need you to laugh, Leanne. I need you to jazz this thing up. I just gave you the... I need it to be immediate. I need to hear it.
Okay.
No, it's lost now. It's lost now. This is all live. This is all... I'm not editing this later. Hold on. I got a laugh track. I'm just going to pretend this is you. All right. Solid work, Dinverno. Yeah, next time I just need you to prep better, okay? Yeah, I really appreciate you doing this for me, but, like, this is Hollywood. Or at least it's DC, so I'm going to hang up now. But a big round of applause for our guest. Hold on, let me Google for round of applause track on... Yeah, it's just, that's Leanne Dinverno. No, I think that's a song we don't have the rights to. Apparently there's a song called Round of Applause. This is already taking too long. No, sound effect. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, Leanne Dinverno, thanks for having her on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. All right, hang it up now. Bye.
Bye.
Well, here we are. You know, we've had a guest. We've had our classic bits that we have on every episode, reading Facebook memories, going over Christmas presents. I'm sure that will be a recurring bit every episode from now on. Thank you for coming to the Erik Harrison Podcast Experience, brought to you by caffeine and a Don Quixote coffee mug. And tune in next week when our guest will be Stacy Crummel, who's another friend of mine who is the least likely to listen to this, and so to know that she's going to be called. And I just decided she was going to be on the call. So let's go ahead and play the theme song. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da. Ring of Fire. Bump-a-dump-a-dump country music. Oh, hey, and I actually did the fade out by just lowering the volume on the video, just so you know.